I found a picture of my mother in a 300-year-old book. I'm now convinced I'm going to be dead tomorrow. This is a 300-year-old book, the librarian told me. Please don't damage it in any way, otherwise you will be in all sorts of trouble. I will be back in half an hour to collect it. I hope you find what you need. I looked down at the book and saw that written in green ink were the words, Creatures and Beasts. The title was in the center of the cover, and underneath the words was a small image of what looked like a red dragon. I admired the artwork for a moment before carefully opening the book. I carefully lifted each page and placed it down gently, not wanting to damage it and getting Mrs. Poole in trouble. I looked through the many pages of the book, each one with a different painting of a creature, which underneath had a paragraph explaining what the creature was and where it could be found. I looked through the pages trying to find the three that I wanted to write about. I read about the Bone Fairy from Scotland, the Tree Walker from Canada, and the Sky Dweller from India, all of which I found interesting, but I couldn't find enough about them to write about them in my report. I kept on turning the pages of the book, and when I turned the page and read the words, The Alluring Harpy, and that was when I saw it. The Alluring Harpy was a winged woman that had long claws at the end of her arms. She was wearing a light purple dress with her wings sprouting out the back of it. She had a seductive smile and eyes that looked inviting. It looked like the sort of creature you would find in a book about ancient mythical creatures, and normally I wouldn't think anything of it, but there was something about this picture. The face of the harpy was the face of my mother. I don't mean they looked similar or bared a resemblance. I mean they looked exactly identical. I was looking at a painting of my mother. I sat staring at the photo for maybe a minute or two, but my stare was broken when Mrs. Poole returned and said to me, I'm really sorry, but I'm going to have to return that book now. The curator is here and I can get into a lot of trouble for allowing you to read this book. She then went to grab the book off of the table and return it. I hadn't read about the Alluring Harpy yet, and so I quickly begged Mrs. Poole to give me one more minute to read about it, but she said that it wasn't possible. She said that she could take a photo of the page for me though, and I could collect it the next day. I told her that that would be great and that I would be back the next day to look at the photograph. She then took the book off of the table and walked it over to the locked door. On the way out, I looked back at the library and thought about what I had seen. I knew that it was probably just a coincidence that my mother looked exactly like the picture of the harpy, but at the same time I thought that it was too similar to not have any connection to my mother. As I was walking home, I was plagued by thoughts of my mother and the harpy. I couldn't get it out of my mind. I didn't really want to see my mother when I got home because she would know something was wrong and she would find a way to get me to talk about what I had seen. So I was disappointed when I arrived home and saw my mom's beaten up Toyota sitting in the driveway. I slowly walked inside, trying to avoid my mom and go to my room that I share with 4 of my brothers. I walked in through the front door and standing right there in the hallway was my mother. Good afternoon, she said to me. How was your day today?